start. So my name is, this is something, it always happens. Hola, 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 hola. That's it. My name is Noemi Paymal. I'm French too. I was born in France and I moved to South America, I think 35 years ago. So now I work in Spanish and English, and I kind of forgot my French, but that's where I was born originally and raised.
Mónica, ¿me dejas unas hojas? Sorry.
And what we do is called in Spanish Pedagogía 3000 or Pedagogy 3000. In English, it's Education 3000, like this over there. And in French, the same, Education 3000. And we started in 2001. So I'm so glad to share. And this more than sharing, now we are doing a worldwide network. So we want to exchange everywhere and have these beautiful same dream and ideas getting concrete, especially after 2020. We have so much opportunities, curiously enough, amazingly enough. So yes, please, I repeat, if you want to put your name and where you are from, what you do in the chat, and questions and whatever comments in the chat too, so I can follow as well. So the first part is very easy. I will share the screen and we will just see about Education 3000. And I prepare some little slides in English. And this is a series of workshops, and it is by country zone, meaning, I want to see everybody here. Let's see if I can see you. Yeah. Meaning now it's Europe, Russia, and Africa. And we will do, if you have friends in Asia, we will do Asia and China in the right time zone. Let's say it will be the morning for them and at night for me. And we will repeat the same workshop for USA and Hawaii because they are the opposite. So it was impossible to have everybody on only one workshop. And we did Middle East 2 weeks ago, and it was wonderful. We had Iraq, Lebanon, Morocco, and now they stay. They are in the WhatsApp group and they want to do many things. And people feel good when they are together and they see they are not alone. And the ideas are right. I mean, we are right. So it feels so good to feel so many. Can you see my screen? Yeah. And let me put the chat if there is some more things in the chat. Wonderful. And the website in English is Educatiooon, and we put 3 O's to make it different, .info in all languages. So we are not a method or something set. We want to be flexible enough to move with all the changes. And by changes is all the changes in the children and young people and babies. And this we will see this morning too, many changes. Changes in the society, and it's moving quite fast, especially after this year, 2020. And changes in general in the paradigms, les paradigms. There is a shift, like people want, usually, and the children, most of it, they want education with more happiness, with cooperation, with ecology, with action, with solidarity. And this is a big shift of paradigms. I think paradigms is correct in English. So we invite everybody to change education wherever we are. and work together. So it will create a synergy, meaning 1 + 1, it's 11. Or if you have France and Russia, India, South America, all the continent together, it creates much more momentum. And of course, we want education to be comprehensive. We want awareness, care, and peace culture. So the basic idea is to have local actions. I do believe I'm a fan of grassroots project, community project, because this is where the change is happening. The change is not happening top down, but always down up or bottom up, always. It's like we have many French people here. The French Revolution was not done by the king or the queen. It was done by us, you see? And that's where we have, I don't do politics, but we can't, no religion, but this is the way it works. And so grassroots system, but with a planetary vision. We are one planet, one humanity, one family. We are responsible for the entire planet, and that's peace culture as well. So it's like both. Very local with a planetary vision. We are one humanity. So both is very pleasant because we recognize the roots, but recognize others as well. So it's the beginning of a real and deep peace culture. This is our approach. Is it good so far? Great, great. Yeah, I like this thumb up. So as I told you, we start in Spanish. We start in 2001 with Pedagogía 3000. The OOO means we change, we move. It was so funny because it's like go, it was like movement, and it was like, let's go on and on with different phases. We know education is not static. We know it has to be in phases. It has to be in a dynamic movement. It has to be with enthusiasm. It has to be with, it can't be static. That's why we put 3 O's. And now it's more. And some people, they think this go too fast, but we put education 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, meaning we have more phases and we have to adjust because it's going to change very fast now. The proof is like 1 month ago, the Ministry of Education of Bolivia. I live in Bolivia. I'm French, but I live in Bolivia. The Ministry of Education called me for a big congress, national congress, as expert. So now we are recognized. So I was so happy. And all the change means many teachers and parents, especially by the end of the year and the beginning of 2021, will ask new ideas, new vision, new way of doing things, new tools, how to listen to the children and young people, how to have education with protagonism of the student. It's all reversed now. And then we ask for many, many tips and practical tools. So we have to be ready and united. This is our feeling. And in all languages, we say P3000 because it's shorter. 3 pillars. First, a fulfilled and happy human being. And after you can discuss mathematics and all the topics and curricula. Curricula, it's a syllabus in English. And curricula sometimes is ridiculous because it's so old, It's based on last century with tools of the other century. So the gap is so huge now between the old education and the real necessity of today, and not of necessity of the children, necessities of the society, necessity of the planet. It's a triple necessities and urgent necessities. So first, happy and fulfilled human being. If you are full inside, fulfilled, of course you can do things much easier and your brain is creative and you have all this beautiful function of the brain active and all the neurotransmitters and everything. So the first thing, you know why? This is something, I don't know if you know, but in India, there is a TED Talk with Anju Chazo. They have a wonderful school and it's called Mahatma Gandhi International Academy. And she started TED Talk and I really recommend everything, all the talks of, maybe I should put in the chat. I put the name. It's Anjou, and she's married to a French. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm supposed you know her and them because they are all friends of Valérie Chazot. And I recommend the TED Talks. TED Talks, yeah. And she said, every 19 seconds, 19, every 19 seconds in India, a child or young people will commit suicide because of education. And this stats, we can't accept that anymore. And not only India, but all around the world. So then we have another friend from India, it's Vikash, and I asked Vikash, is that true? 19 seconds, it's a lot. He said, you see, there is so much pressure for success. So I want my kid not to be poor anymore. I want them to be successful. I want them to have a good profession. And it's like Asia. Asia was like that a couple of years ago, like 10 years ago. And they had a lot of suicide too. And now India have the same process. And all around the world, now I will say not all the children are very happy in the school system. So the good things about this year, most of the system collapsed, especially in South America. So we have more opportunity because we don't want that anymore. And so we are here to transform that. And it's very possible, especially if we are united. Then we want action. Children, young people that can do, that can make change, not only ideas, but put them in practice. So a lot of activities where you are entrepreneur, when you are co-creating, when you do something and you are able to manifest what you think. So it's theory, practical all the time, and caring for the planet. That's our 3 pillars. And with this, we can really transform education. As if we transform education, we transform the world. And if we transform the world, we help the planet and humanity as well. And it is our purpose right now. At least for me and for the team, our purpose right now is education. And with education, we open doors, we open portals for other things like technology, ecology, social issues, solidarity, peace culture, through education. This is our pretext, our door, entry door. You see what I mean? Well, this is our NGOs. And right now, we are creating one in France, thanks to Edith. So we have a base in Europe, because plus Spain. This is the event, many events, I think more than 2,000 now, all around the world. And we trained about 46,000 teachers and parents. Because the kids are fine. Most of the work we do is with teachers and parents and adults and young people. International Congress, we had all over the world as well. Now we have online. By the way, next week we have the International Congress. It's called Fourth Scientific Congress, Neuroscience and Education 3000 with doctors. So I will give you the link at the end of the slides. And then we have a lot of programs online on YouTube. We have a program for, social program for children in high-risk zones, especially refugee children. We worked in Syria, Turkey, Lebanon, and South America. We have a program for certified facilitators. We have like 120 now around the world as well. Yeah, and India, you will be the next one. Actually, today you graduate from the 7 Petal School diploma. So congratulations.
Yes, yes.
And this is 7 Petal Schools. We have a lot of in project and 7 workies, and they are so far pilot school. We want to have concrete projects to see how it works and to have feedback automatically and in real time. And if you want a 7 Petal School in your country, I would be more than happy. We will talk about that at the 3rd part. Youth program, new leadership. It's called horizontal leadership or self-leadership, and so on. We have many programs, basically research, 7 better schools, peace programs, audio-visual material. A lot of, now this year it was great because we did a lot of program on YouTube and Facebook in English, in Spanish. And that's the idea, to be all over the place. And trainings. And of course, the worldwide network. I will talk about that too. Like by bio-region to link everybody. So we start a program. The kids, they can have a Zoom with other kids all around the world. So they know each other in English and whatever, they understand. This is amazing. They understand any languages, they can communicate. So we will create more peace culture by having all those contacts. So we started with Argentina, Colombia, and now we want to do with Beijing and Middle East. So imagine the kids, 7 years old kid, and they know the word already. So you can say geography, is social science, is history, is languages, communication, high tech, because they have to use all the computer stuff. And that's beautiful. That's what we gained this year, actually, amazingly enough. All right, this is for the introduction. Let me see what I have here. It's a small movie about Education 3000, just to change the tone of my voice. Can you hear the sound? Thank you. I apologize for the map because this was done before the virus and people told me you should take this map out because it looks like a virus map. But let's say this is a virus of joy and enthusiasm and the new education. But I had some comments about the map. That was so funny. I told you we have a lot of live programs. We actually, this month we start our TV online on YouTube. It's called P3000, 4000, 5000 TV. And you have program on Fridays, live in English with my French accent, but it's so funny. It's with my French accent and the person who does the program is from Mexico. And we do the whole program in English and it's fun. So we can be together and we wait for your comments and all the, you can, you know, on Facebook, you can put all the comments and be interactive and we can do interviews with you too and know what's in your country. It's exchange. And then everything is in YouTube. It's called Education 3000 in different languages. And we put all the languages we can and English. And we have another site only in Spanish. And the website in English is education3000.info. This is what we have. for this part. Let me see if I can go out. Let me see if there is a comment here. Perfect. So Raquel is in. Hola. Alexandra from Romania. Hola, Alejandra. Hello. And Crystal and Lydia and the people at the beginning. Thank you to be together. So far, so good? You're not tired? No? We can stretch a little bit. Stretch the arms. Move the body. And let me find the other PowerPoint. The other PowerPoint I really like is about all the change in children. And this is a study we started 15 years ago with a lot of pediatricians. And I think it's very important to know. I want to get out of here. Give me a sec. That's it. And we realized, starting with my own kids, that we had many changes and many things changing, which is normal. My profession is anthropology. Can you see my screen? Yeah, sometimes the screen is not on and I keep on talking and I don't realize. So you tell me when something goes wrong or the sound or the pictures. Thank you. Thank you, Lydia. And then we realized many changes were occurring, which is normal. I mean, technology is going fast, the changes are going fast, communication, social network. So food, urban lifestyle, many changes in only 15 years after the World War II, I would say, so fast. So it's normal that the kids and the children and the babies will change too, but these changes are so fast and so amazing. I want to review with you a little bit because it's all over the world. Every time I go to a country, I will investigate or do some research and ask doctors, pediatricians, and they all say, yes, Noemi. They are not even in my tables. You know, when you go to the university to be a doctor, you have all those tables and all the age and the child should crawl at, I don't know, let's say 6 months, 8 months, and the child do that and that, the children, they say they are not, they are off my tables. They are more precautious. They do, it's very different, their approach. The neural system, the brain is wired differently. The sensitivity, it's really different. So with this, we did some studies and some stats, and we saw at least physiological change, basically the metabolism, psycho-emotional, a lot, and neurological. And we have to know that because they change completely the way we approach education. And thanks God. Well, thanks everybody, because now we are changing that. So we did some stats in Bolivia and in Mexico with a university in Mexico to see if they have the same result. And they had the same result. So we were so happy about that. Like when they are little, this was with 5, 6, 7, and 8 years old children when they are little, because after that they go to school and they change, unfortunately, then they lose those capacities most of the time, not always, of course. So 83% of the children self-taught and self-developed. They learn by themselves. I repeat, they learn by themselves. They are very good at being self-taught or didactic, autodidact on dit en français, self-didact. And that's good news. They learn so fast and alone. So why bother so much to want to teach if they have this capacity of self-learning or self-taught capacities from very little age? And they are good at teaching the other kids too. So that's a new way of doing education. We stop talking, we stop teaching, we let them do, and they really flourish. And I'm not talking about free school and do whatever you want and hang from a tree during 1 week. No. I'm talking about develop all those capacities and really have a very high academic level, but with happiness, fulfillment, action, enthusiasm, with all that. Because sometimes they say, Noemi, are you talking about everything free. No. Actually, free school doesn't have that much result either. It has to be balanced. And it has to be another way. This is what I think, we think. Right brain hemisphere and creativity and fourth brain. Fourth brain, it's from France. It's from Michel Fortune. Michel Fortune, I don't know if you know her. She started the Mandala Notes. It's very old. The book is maybe 30 years old. And she says the fourth brain is developing here. And she was talking about another brain, actually, but it is lobal front. Frontal lobes, or this part of the brain here, more developed, more accurate. This is action, execution, criteria, humanism, and service. This is his brain. And we can see that in young people and children, more developed than before, according to our research. Maybe we should see more, but something is happening. And right hemisphere is about creativity and lateral thinking. I will go back to lateral thinking because it's very important right now. I'm not talking about critical thinking. I'm going about lateral thinking. Lateral thinking is one step further to critical thinking, is when you don't only criticize, but you find solution and you apply your solutions. So this is 2 steps further. Sensitivity, emotional intelligence, 77%. This is enormous. My generation, if I'm lucky, maybe I have 30% or 20% or 35% of this development, incredible development of the emotional intelligence, which is the base, it is the cornerstone, this is the core thing of education and of the human being. And those kids naturally have this. And that's very good news. And sensitive and intuition and sometimes psychic abilities, 44%. It's very hard to measure, I recognize, but it's still a high score. And this is sometimes the problem. If you are too sensitive in a word that's still kind of harsh, it's not easy for those children, it's not easy for those young people, and I'm sure Lydia can talk about that, and it's not easy for everybody. But this we have to take care of. Maybe not deliver knowledge, but take care of the emotional issues, sensitive issues, be a friend, give this contention, contention, not limit, contention, a loving environment when you feel secure. This is security, emotional security, physical security, psychic security, cognitive security. This is what we have to provide. As a teacher, we need teachers, but with another role. See? Definitely. Actually, I will do 70 hours of classes, and it's called Teachers 3000. And the person who accompanies the children, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 online, because it's too hard to travel now, to take care of that, to accompany the transition of the old teacher and the new teacher being more like a friend, a companion, somebody very sensitive as well, that can provide this safe environment and safe at all levels. This is a great shift. This is incredible. It's a complete transformation of the parents and the teachers. So a summary, self-taught, independent. Independent. Moi tout seul, moi, yo solo, me alone, I want to do it alone, myself. I know a kid of 1 year old. 1 year old. He wanted to take off his t-shirt, and it's very hard to take off a t-shirt when you are 1 year old and you have to pull out through the head because it was not opening like that. You had to go through the head. So the old reflex, I recognize, I wanted to help him. That's typically of the grandmother and my age. And the mother said, no, stop, Noemi, stop. He's going to be very upset if you help him. So I stopped and I realized my mistake. Being a pedagogue on the top of all, can you imagine? And mind you, this kid pulled out his t-shirt alone. So please let them do, they can cook, they can help, they are so incredible and they need it. Early, it means precoce, they can do everything sooner. Even for instance, sexual hormones. I mean, many girls now have their periods before, and everything is like before. It's like childhood is so short now because they are so fast in their metabolism and psychology criteria. I mean, they have criteria and they are 4 years old and they can give you advice. This is new. This is incredible. Then we have rapid, fast. Sometimes they are bored. If you are fast, not all of them, but I will say more than half, I mean, 70%, I would say. If you are fast, you can grab everything you are fast and you need to have the instruction only once. You tell them you enter this program that way, that's it. That's it. You don't have to repeat or to do another class with the same information because that's it. So they are bored. And when a child, a young person is bored, we lose them. So they are agitated, they will do other things, and then they are punished, and then it's a cycle, I mean, vicious cycle. No, we have to be able to cope with the different speed of all the children. We have from very slow to extremely fast and super, how do you say in English? Sobre talentos, habilidades altas. They are kids of high capacities, I think.
Gifted?
Gifted kids. We have a lot, actually, and Scientific Congress of next week, we have an expert talking about gifted children, and it's amazing what he said, and we don't recognize that in many children. And he said the official stat is 3% of all the children of the world are super gifted, and we don't realize that. Now, I'm not saying, no, we should do an education only for them, but recognize that there's a tendency now to have kids faster, clever, with other thinking and criteria. It's called lateral thinking. And this new metabolism, which is a very fast metabolism. Is very poor. Okay, I'm Alexandria. I am recording everything and my internet is good, so I'm pretty sure the sound will be okay and you can see it in YouTube by tonight, my time, for everybody actually. Digital natives, you won't believe me, I know it was a director of education of the University of Chile and it's called the La Universidad one of the biggest university of Santiago. And he said, I am the director, I am the dean. And I'm going to tell you, my granddaughter of 7 months can type on my cell phone and unload the little monkeys she wants to see all the time, little movie. And he said, and I said 7 years. And he said, no, 7 months. And I'm not crazy. I am the dean. I mean, I am a professional. I'm not a grandfather saying, oh, my kid is extraordinary. But you recognize the ability and the precocious nature of those people. Multitask, bright, multitask. That's something that bothers us. But the right brain is multitask. And more than that, they have to do, my cat always wants to be on TV. They have to do several things. For instance, my daughter, when she was little, she would do the homework, and it was not very nice homework, I recognize. Watching TV, but then after that, we didn't have TV, but at that time we have one. Eating, taking care of the little brother. She was aware of the kitchen because she always wanted to know what we were cooking, and she was drawing at the same time. This is the capacity of the right brain. And she used to say, I work better when I do several things at the same time. If not, I'm bored. I'm not activated in my brain, especially my right brain. And now she's an artist, and the drawing part was really what helped her. So it's okay. It's okay and welcome to be multitask and to have multitask activities. If not, they say, no, this is deficit of attention. They do too many things at the same time. You see, we can't do that. They can. We have just to recognize that. Emotional intelligence, empathic, intuitive, and get bored with schoolwork. And I put picture of, this guy is incredible. Carlos Antonio is 12 years old and he's at the university, and many kids are like that. I know several from Mexico, from Belgium. Just to show, it's not, I don't like to show the kids like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is not good, like to do the showcase, but to show that the brain has much more capacity than we think. And sometimes we underestimate the brain capacities of those children and the empathic capacities as well. And what I liked with him, talking about empathy, he wants to learn how to build cells to cure disease. I mean, he's so young and he already wants to help people and cure people. And I did another interview with a child of 7 years old, and he wrote his own book already. And I wanted to ask him about the school. How do you want your school? Do you want trees, animals? I didn't care. He just said, I want people to be happy. 7 years old. And I said, yes, but about your school. No, Noemi, I just want people to be happy. This is my mission. I want them to have positive affirmation and that. And this vision was far beyond mind at this short age. So we have to listen and be aware. And this is good news, by the way. This is very good news. The metabolism is faster, and it's not really hyperactivity. Just the metabolism is faster. The ATP is processed more energy faster in the mitochondria, or mitochondria, I think in English, mitochondria. And so several pediatricians say, yes, Noemi, this is a new level of energy, a new metabolism, and it's not hyperactivity like 20 years ago or 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was adjusting. And yes, we had a lot of real hyperactivity case, but not now. Now it will be maybe 5% of real case, 8%. And that's incredible, because then they need a very active education, a lot of movement, at least 2 hours of sport a day. Can you imagine? A day, not a week or a month. And a lot of action to do, and we don't have any problem with them. But sit it down 8 hours, this is over. This is done. Even though we have so much Zoom now, because all the school is by Zoom. Now the school, they do Zoom, but they do activities and they dance and they have acro yoga and they have cooking and they have activities in the afternoon. So they don't have that much Zoom. They change the way they teach by Zoom, by the way. And the other thing is called hyperesthesia. All the senses are more accurate, more sensitive. Like if you yell or if there is a strong noise, usually they will do that. No, don't shout at me. Oh no, this is too. So this is not a disease. This is not pathologic. It's just a higher sense, the 5 senses. And now they say 13 senses, 3 senses, according to the researcher from Japan, Makoto Shishida. So they have a higher perception, physically and non-physically, and psychologically too. And this is very good news. As an anthropologist and as an anthropologist, I mean, we are thrilled. We are thrilled. It's proof we are in a good evolution leap right now. As an educator, we have to redo everything. That's simple. And we can be thrilled as well, or a little bit overwhelmed, but we will do it. But when you know the why of everything, it's much easier. And this one is my favorite. I love this one. It's called synesthetic brain. This kind of brain encompasses everything at the same time. Sound and light and numbers, and the memory is extraordinary. And like you can see notes and feel colors and hear colors. I mean, you mix the senses, but this is not the only thing. Your memory is extraordinary, and you compute the way you can associate things is extremely fast, extremely fast. And when I go to high school, with little ones, it's not easy because they can't tell you how their brain works. For them, it's normal. But when I go to high school and I show that, and I will show you the videos, we have time right now, I always have 2 or 3% or young person, student, going to me saying, this is the brain I have. So that's a lot. And maybe this is a hypothesis. Maybe this kind of brain, extremely fast and with a huge memory capacity and huge approach capacity, I mean, everything together, like holistic approach, could be one of the characteristics of the next brain. But this is what we think as crazy anthropologists and social workers as well. But it's, well, anyway, this is to tell you, please investigate synesthesia with an S, because it might be one of the characteristic of the next brain. You know, the brain always have more, it's moving. We are, of course, it won't be in one day. We are talking about long time evolution, but please investigate because it's so interesting. So to make up my point, I prepared this little video. The guy is called Daniel Tammet. He's from England. He's right now in France. And it's very nice because he led us, the doctors and the scientific studies his brain, and he can explain what happened to him when he was little and now with this kind of brain. And I think it's good to study that. The beginning is a little bit stupid. Yeah, that the way it will grasp the information, and many kids does that, grabs everything at the same time. You see, this is a synesthetic brain. It can decode in real time things.
Take a look at pi, a string of numbers that goes on forever. You read through them once. Yeah. And that was it. You memorized. And that was it. One time.
Okay. This is going fast, but you remember 25 digits of pi. You know pi, 3.14, blah, 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 blah. How long is this number? How many digits do we have in pi or p?
Infinite?
Infinite. And there is no pattern, so it's very hard to remember. So Daniel, and this is the interview, he said, the interviewer said, did you read once the theory and then you remember? And he said, yes. He's not channeling pi, he just remember. And this is typical of a real synesthetic brain. So they did the test and they went to Oxford to have the test to see if that's true. And you repeat the number back. Oops, sorry. Sorry. How do I go back?
Superman. C.
Can you hear correctly?
Scientists have tested Tammet's memory. And pi, a string of numbers that goes on forever. You read through them once. Yeah. And that was it. You memorized. And that was it. One time only. He memorized the first 22,000 digits of pi. 4, 1, 5, 9. And then, in front of a disbelieving audience, he begins reciting the numbers back in order from memory. 5, 7. 5 mathematicians struggling to keep up, checking every single digit. 2, 5, 9, 0.
It's mesmerizing.
3, 4, 6, 9, 0, 8, 1, 9, 9 zeros. After 5 hours and 9 minutes. Finished. Yeah. Every single one. Perfect.
I learned to count like anyone else at a young age. And when I did, I would see colors, I would see pictures in my mind. I assumed at the time that everyone saw numbers, as I did.
Tammet didn't do math like the teacher said. The answers just came to him. Watch how he finds the answer to 53 times 131.
With a sum like 53, just round, very round. I'll try the bottom. And then you've got another number here, 131, which is longer. A little bit like an hourglass, symmetrical. And in the middle, you've got a negative space. Then you have a third shape. And this, I see, is the solution to the sum 6, 9, 4, 3.
For Tammet, every digit is a 3-dimensional shape. 9 is large, deep blue, concave. 4 is small, light blue, angular. 10 is like metallic puddle. To memorize a long number like pi, he just forms a beautiful landscape out of those shapes.
It's a world. It's another world.
A world science cannot fully understand. Tammet has Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism that makes him unnaturally obsessive, focused. He also has something called synesthesia. In a normal brain, different parts don't talk to each other. In Tammet's brain, they do.
I do a pause here. This is typical of the synesthesia brain. It's all at the same time. That's why it's so fast and it has so much synapses. You see?
That's why he sees numbers as beautiful shapes and color. They call Tammet an autistic savant, like Rain Man.
Do you know how much the square root of 2,130 is?
46.15192304. 2304.
Most savants, like Dustin Hoffman's character, find normal life social interaction almost impossible.
Were you bullied at school? Yes. I would have gestures, flapping of the hands, for example, walking in circles. And the other children would repeat that back to me, tease me, call me names.
But these days, crowds flock to hear Tammet speak.
The most extraordinary brain. His name is Daniel Tammet. I mean,
And he has 13 books now. He knows so many languages. And there is more on the website, Daniel Tammet. And when he was little, it was very hard to adjust too. So that's why they say it was an autistic child, and he had all this problem, and he was bullied. Bullying. He was teased. I mean, it was not easy at the beginning, and now he's a public speaker and writer and all that. So it's kind of interesting to learn that and to understand about autism. I don't say everything with, now we don't say TAA, we say autism spectrum condition, not disorder. It's a condition for autistic, which I like better. So, but we have to be very cautious and really see what's happening with the brain, with emotional issues, and what's happening with this kind of children. I think a real and big change and consciousness leap is occurring right now. We saw this pediatrician from Brazil, Dr. Soares, and she said, in summary, the neurosensory system is sharper, the cardio system, heart and thymus system complex is more sensitive, the metabolism or the metabolic system is more developed and precocious, and that was 2015. So 6 years after, we have to go on researching. That's why we did this scientific congress. I mean, we will do it next week to have the last news with the last research. And the mirror system. And the mirror system, les neurones miroirs, we have a lot in the frontal lobe. And remember, this is kind of activated right now in most of the young people. And that produces a lot of and powerful capacity of empathy. So that's why that can explain some of the amazing sensibility or sensitiveness of some young people and children. So I invite you to research that too, mirror neurons, because this is exactly what's happening. And the raise of empathy is really, you can really notice it. Then the emotional intelligence, again, the emotional intelligence is fast. They want immediate, this is the children of today. It's extremely fast. They want immediate solution right now. They don't want to wait. Did you notice that? Now, very persevering. That's a nice way to say it. It's more than that. It's like stubborn. If they want something, they will get it. And I can see in many, many children. This is good because it can give us like when they have a purpose of life, they will do it. And sometimes not so good because they can be a little bit adamant or like a little tyrant. Like, you know, the emperor kid, the emperor or Chinese emperor kid, when everything, you have to do everything that the child said. So we have to balance all that. But yeah, stubborn, for me, it's good. Assimilation of the world, this is called the holistic approach. Acute perception, and we already have hyperesthesia, so it will go together. The idea of collaboration and no competition. The idea of association and work by triggers, this is called associative intelligence. Art and spirituality and personalized thinking. This is from Daniel Goleman. And this is when people have a very high emotional intelligence IQ. Not IQ, it's EQ. Emotional quotient or emotional coefficient versus the IQ, intellectual quotient. So for Daniel Goleman, this is more important. And I think he's right. Frontal lobe, how do you develop that? And this is very important to have this part activated. Lateral thinking, Edward de Bono, creativity, execution, altruism, and fun. When you laugh, you develop this part. I repeat, and this is true. This is proved by science. When you laugh, you develop the frontal lobes. This is a multiple intelligence. I go fast because it's almost a break now, and I want to keep up with the timing. But usually people say, oh, we have 9 in multiple intelligence according to Gardner and Armstrong. But mind you, we did some research in Venezuela and we had 26 intelligence. You can take a picture because I don't see that, I won't describe them all. Between intelligence and abilities and a mix of everything, and now we have 32. So please don't limit the children, don't limit our brain capacities and the human capacities. We have much more, and our DNA as well. We have much more to decode and to activate the DNA, the genetic codes. And to make the story short, this is a circuit when everything is fine and you have a good information, novelty, multisensory, motivation, creativity. There is no stress, so the information will go all the way to the frontal lobe with acetylcholine and with dopamine and serotonin, which is pleasant, and it is deep learning and is self-reward. So this is what we want. The opposite, if we have stress and it's boring and it's no multisensory, monosensory, no motivation and repetition, there is some stress, it's blocked, and we don't have this process. So it's very straightforward according to neuroscience. So 0 stress. And the neurotransmitter we want is serotonin, dopamine, endorphin, irisin, acetylcholine, and oxytocin. That all the pleasant neurotransmitter we want in education. And we want movement because of brain-derived neurotrophic factors. This is B, D, and F. Meaning, the more you do exercise, the more you have brain plasticity. Again, let them move and have a lot of exercise. Lateral thinking, I'll talk about that. It's like when you can find solution and do them, practice them, and that's it. If you want, I can give you the PowerPoint as well. Children with high expressorial capacities. Yes, Lydia. We have super gift children, and usually it's mental or intellectual capacity, and as well, extrasensory capacity, that's more like intuitive, empathic, and psychic abilities. And we have a lot these days. Remember, in our stat, it was 44%, and maybe it's rising up. Actually, some teachers tell me it's rising up. When we have new batch of children or new cycle of children, they are extremely sensitive. Too sensitive, according to them, which is true, but definitely that need a new kind of education. So that's the first part. Are you following? Is it okay? Edith, you are still here? What about 5 minutes breaks? So we get water, a lot of water, maybe coffee, tea. We come back in five minutes. I'm going to stop recording, but remind me when we start again, I will record the second part. Thank you. And again, if you have something to say, please use the chat or use the break to tell me something. We take 5 minutes more. See ya.